following in the footsteps of Facebook, which we've talked about as well here in the past for this specific thing, Spotify is now offering better reach and algorithm muscle to those artists who give up even more of their cut on the platform. So just like on Facebook, essentially, where Jeff and I, if we wanted to make sure that our podcast going live announcement gets out to everyone that follows our Facebook page, we got to pay like $15 minimum to get access to like 30% more of our own subscribers on Facebook. Spotify is coming out and saying, hey, we heard you guys think our algorithm is shit. And it's true. It is. And being an artist on Spotify is basically a giant black hole. Well, we've got a solution for you. If you allow us to take an even deeper cut of our already abysmal playback rates on Spotify, we will now give you a little bit more algorithmic muscular grunt to push your shit up the charts. Of course, the problem with that is that everyone's going to do it. Because if you don't, you're at a massive disadvantage. And therefore, if everyone's doing it, you're not getting an advantage in the first place. Because, well, everyone's fucking getting the same algorithmic boost, and you're kind of just fucking back at square one all over again. So at the end of the day, it's basically extortion. It's Spotify saying if you want to keep your positions or try to even keep your position on Spotify where you're at and have any hope, you're taking this cut or you're going to be sent to the Shadow Realm. Is pretty much where they're at. I hate this kind of shit. I hated it when Facebook did it. This is no better. I've seen a lot of artists, music artists I follow on Twitter talking about their struggles with Spotify, specifically in terms of their revenue share for playback rates, on top of their being able to get exposed on the platform like at all is nearly impossible as it is. And to have Spotify come out and basically provide a platform that's going to not solve anything except for make Spotify even more money at the expense of artists, is kind of unfortunate. Instead of just fixing their fucking algorithm, like, oh, we'll provide some people with the key, the master key, but we're going to take even more of your money. I understand Spotify, from a business perspective, has struggled off and on to make their money in general, because the streaming business with music is not cheap to be in. It's expensive as fuck, and it's a difficult one. Spotify is pretty much just, there's iTunes and Spotify, and then everything else is kind of fucking whatever. YouTube Music maybe slots itself in there somewhere in a weird way, but ultimately you're looking at iTunes, and then you're looking at Spotify. And iTunes is more of a platform where you're buying a lot of your music than you would be necessarily streaming it. Amazon as well, I suppose, with their Amazon Music. But it's expensive, and Spotify struggled a bit. I guess this is one of their new methods for trying to up their margins in that regard. I just personally wish it didn't come at the expense of the artists, because the artists are already getting kind of boned on Spotify. I don't know what the solution is. I just wish it wasn't this. Because just like on Facebook, where it's frustrating for Jeff and I, where you sit back and you go, all right, we had all these people, and back in 2011, when we put a post up, you could see the engagement was like 80%.
Yeah. I mean, with Spotify, at least they're not.
At least they're not making you pay per fucking song or some shit where it's like,
yeah,
hey.
Like the thing, like, it's a little different than Facebook. Because with Facebook is you've already organically gathered your following. And
yeah, now they're like taking it away
to actually
access it. Yeah,
access it.
Yeah,
that's not what they're doing on Spotify. Like Spotify, you can have your followers and your listeners. Whenever you put out new music, they will get it.
Yeah.
So it's not like that.
It's not identical, but it's a very similar arm twisting technique, just in a different way.
Spotify's just in it to make money. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I mean, there's so many artists on Spotify that, like, you know, I don't know how else they would do this.
I mean, they could just fix the algorithm and just call it a fucking day. Because it's not like if you took the money out of it, it's not like it's costing them specifically more money to have the algorithm run. It's not like there's like an overhead cost constantly moving for the algorithm to be better. It's not like they have to add more servers to make it happen.
I'm not sure it's just algorithm though. That's the thing that's like.
Well, that's what that's literally just what they've said in their statement. That's what what it is.
I mean, you know, there's just millions and millions and millions of artists, and it's hard for people to be recognized, even if algorithmically the things are put in place. I mean, you can't show everybody. You just can't. It's like YouTube.
Well, it's not that. It's more about like what the algorithm pulls up. Relevant, like relevancy, like if somebody's searching something.
I mean, yeah, I actually don't hate this idea personally. And I'll probably do it for my music. You know, I have my own music on Spotify and I get paid for listens.
Yeah.
And if I'm willing to give them a little bit more of a cut to in turn get more listens, is that a bad thing?
It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that the idea being that it's kind of advertised like it will help everyone across the board. But like I said, if like you said there, and as well, who's not going to take this, right? So
people that are already super well known, right? Like this, I think this is more for people that are up and coming artists.
I think everyone will do this shit.
I don't know, because if you're already at the top, like you're not going to see the Taylor Swifts and the Kanyes and shit give them more money. There's no point. Like when these guys release music, it's there to listen to, and already algorithmically, you could have my music and I could give them 100% and make $0. I'm not going above Kanye or Taylor Swift or, you know.
No, I don't think I would say like that echelon, but you know, like the tier that's like right below that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. They might do it as new albums are coming out and very strategically pushing your music at certain times. But to do it all the time, I don't think so. I actually don't hate the idea of this. And, you know, an artist can decide like, hey, if I'm only getting, you know, 1/10 of a cent per view or listen, and I want to take half of that, then, and it's going to bring a whole new line of audience potentially to my music. That might be worth the investment to do for 1 month or for 2 weeks or whatever.
If you do in fact use it, so once it rolls out and it becomes available to you, if you do in fact use it, it would be cool to see if you do see the needle move.
Yeah.
At all. So if you do it, report back in like 3 months or some shit.
I will.
Or whenever this rolls out, we'll get some time under and see if it actually does in fact. Because it would be nice if they described a little bit more in detail what benefits you're going to get from this.
Yeah.
In turn, for sure. But that would be
with Facebook, it's much more egregious. Like
Facebook's is gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like with Facebook, it'd be different if we could automatically send stuff out to all of our viewers. And then if we want to pay a little bit extra to then get even more reach within the algorithm of people searching for video game related stuff on Facebook, that makes sense.
Yeah. You should be paying to go external your community.
Exactly.
Not to go within your community.
Exactly. It's like it's ass backwards, right? At least with Spotify, they're not making you pay to actually send your music out to your followers. You got your followers are going to hear your shit.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's to get exposed to potential new people. And when you think about it, that's advertisement. You know, they don't owe us anything or an artist anything. You know, we put our music up there and we get paid for it. I mean, let us go back and remember a time when Spotify didn't exist. I mean, what were artists doing then? You know, all their music was getting pirated. And it still gets pirated, but I mean, like on a massive, like a way bigger level. I don't remember the last time I illegally downloaded an album because I could just go to Spotify and listen to it, and they get paid. I don't need to go to some sketchy torrent website and download some files or whatever. I just go to Spotify right now, whatever artist I want to a degree. I mean, 99%. If I want to go old or new, I just go there and I listen to it. And it's either I have a Spotify premium where I'm getting no ads, or I don't have one, so I get the occasional ad, and that's fine. And I get to listen to music. The artists need to remember the days when they were not making millions of dollars off Spotify in a year. Millions with an M. Before they were losing millions of dollars. Right? So
I just wish they worded it better than just saying algorithm, because you would think that if the algorithm itself is better for everyone, that Spotify makes more money and the artists make more money, because the more accurate an algorithm is at putting the right music in front of the right people looking for it, the more listens you're going to get, the more money everyone's going to make. So it just comes across as odd the way that they're promoting it, because it makes it seem like they're arm twisting instead of providing a service above and beyond what would just benefit them versus benefiting everyone.
Yeah, but I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I think ultimately they're adding this as a added benefit for artists that want to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like they want to get exposure on a platform where everybody and their dog is on.
Yeah.
And so you can pay a little, you're not even paying. You're just taking less, which in turn you are paying. But if you're getting more views for your music, then that money that you're paying, you're actually getting back.
You're hoping to make up on volume, is essentially, and new eyeballs at the end of the day.
And this is something that you want to strategically do.
Yeah.
This isn't like something I don't think an artist is just going to run all the time. Maybe the bigger artists might do that just for namesake, but it just doesn't make sense why you would spend the money and you already have the market dominated. It's not like,
well, that'd be interesting too, is that when you find out is like what the term lengths are on this. Is it like, can you do it per song? Can you do it per album? Can you do it per chunk of time? Like you only want to run it for, let's say, like a month or some shit. Yeah,
I'm sure it's probably a bidding thing. It's no different than a voiceover site that I'm on. I have gigs on this voiceover site.
Yeah.
And, just algorithmically, when people are searching for specific types of voiceovers and the tags and different things that I have in place, they get those. But they also have like promoted gigs. So, and they give those to certain partners. And, I can bid essentially how much I want to pay per click. And so, before that, I was still doing okay. But now that I do that, I'm making, last month I paid $17 and some change, and I made $190 off that 17. Like it'll tell you how much you paid and then where they found you and then if they ordered or whatever. It's kind of the same thing here where it's like, listen, you don't have to do it. And if you want to give more, the more you give, probably the more they push. You know what I mean? Like if you're willing to give 75% of this ad that somebody's going to listen to, then they're likely going to push you more than what the person that was willing to give 60%. So that's pretty much how it works. Does it mean you're going to lose out on your already natural promotion on the site? That's another question, right? And the answer probably is yes to a degree. Like, you got to take part, or you're probably going to be affected to some degree. And that's why I think it'd be really important for people, instead of blowing your wad, is to just, you come up with a new album, boom. Come up with a new podcast episode, boom. There's times where you want to throw that money out, and it's like me on my gig page, I can change that and exit out at any time. And, that's just how it works. That's what I'm assuming what Spotify is doing. And they're not dumb. So, and they're going to make fuck tons of money doing this. Fuck tons.
Oh, loads of money.
Yeah.
Oh, no question. Yeah. I like my only gripe with it is what I just described before that, was just how they're promoting it and how it does, like, it just, maybe they're just promoting it poorly. and
Yeah.
it could be worded better. But
Yeah.
it just it just comes across as anti-artist in a way that it doesn't need to be, because and maybe that's why they shouldn't use the word algorithm, because if you're improving your algorithm, everyone makes more money already. So it's like, we're going to make a better algorithm, but we're only going to let certain people use the better algorithm instead of everyone using it to like.
Yeah, but I mean, you could also make that argument that it doesn't matter how good the algorithm is.
Yeah.
It isn't going to change your life. You know, it's no different than YouTube. I mean, we put up stuff all the time, or I can put up stuff all the time. Just because YouTube will improve their algorithm doesn't mean I'm going to be affected at all, because everybody gets improved. It's not just one group of people or whatever. There's only so many things you can put on
and that's why I'll be interested, like, if you're doing this and you apply it to your stuff, where I'm pretty certain,
then it's great, you know?
Yeah, like, I'll be,
and now I'm paying for the, you know, and now I'm paying more for the same amount of views, and now I'm just losing money. That ain't it, dog. That ain't it.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting any type of uptick, any type of new audience that's coming in on a regular basis, that's what we want. We want to grow. That's how you grow.
Yeah, so that will be super interesting to see what your experience with that system is like. See if you do in fact get track any better than you would normally, especially since and it would be especially interesting for you because you're not putting out new music or shit all the time. So your usage case would be very similar for those who already have a catalog on Spotify. We'll see what naturally comes along for stuff already on the platform versus somebody putting out something new and applying the algorithm shit to it all the time kind of idea. So yeah, that'll be fun to see.